Hello to the chicos and the chicas. Today I'm going to tell you the most uncanny chess story that occurred to me in a very long time. This is what happened. Yesterday, I was having a lesson with a student of mine where we had a look at this position. Now, the student has a very remarkable ability to calculate, and in general for attacking chess, he's just something else. And so I purposely showed him positions where we needed to be grounded and reminded of objective evaluations versus what we prefer to do in chess. And I asked his opinion in this position about the move f5. And of course, because, as I said, he has this general knack for attacking positions, he liked it for black a lot because it seemed to be a clear vision that we are going to play f5 and then the knight comes to f6 and we have this King's Indian style attack, yada yada yada. Then I asked him about how he evaluated takes. He got even more excited for black because now we have got a better central control, yada yada yada. And then I asked him about what he thought about f4 and he went like, oh, e4, and then we are going to smash it. And then I'm like, okay, so what is your plan in this position exactly for black? And that was roughly the turning point when he began to realize that things were going actually pretty badly for black here. And we modeled the game, or rather we went through the game. As a matter of fact, after e4, all we looked at was h3 with the idea of g4, believe it or not. And it is definitely a difficult game to play for black, although black is by no means out of the contest. But for a human mind, this position is actually quite ugly to engage with, because the pawn gets blockaded either by bishop e3 or even knight e3. Black kingside attack doesn't exist. The e5 square is no longer accessible. Lots of issues. So in fact, in the game, black opted to take on f4, allowing the ruined pawn structure, but at the same time at least having the e5 square. Now white went on to win in a spectacular fashion. We spent a fair bit of time analyzing this game because it's a really instructive positional masterpiece. I'm just going to blitz through it because it's only part of what I want to show you. Knight b5, bishop b5, a b5, introducing knight b6 threats now, so the rook is super cool both ways. Really a textbook game in more than one way. Takes, and here white cashed in with bishop takes e5, another move that probably many wouldn't have even considered. The idea being that after de, we have d6, queen random, knight b6, and bishop c4 is gonna mop up the board. And so instead, bishop takes e5 was played, whereupon take, and d6 exclam happened, and again the black position is falling apart after knight d6, queen d5. Virtually every pawn black owns is hanging, and after rook d8, rook takes e5, we witnessed a slightly premature resignation, but resignation nonetheless. No, it wasn't Petrosian, but it was a very Petrosianian style of play on white side. It was actually played by legendary book author Johan Helsten. And so we went through this game, we analyzed a couple of sidelines and whatnot. We had a lot of fun with this position and understanding the positional concepts that surround the positional changes and plans after f4. And so after the lesson ended, I went outside, I grabbed a bite, whatever, I sat back down, and before I started working on my chessable things, I thought, whatever, let's play a blitz game. And literally, no more than 20 minutes, I should have muted the follow alerts, no more than 20 minutes after the analysis of this game, the following chess game took place between myself and my esteemed opponent, a candidate master from Romania. No more than 20 minutes, I promise you. Watch this. I am like, hello? Deja vu much? Okay, he played knight e7 instead of knight f6. But still, check this out. This is how the game went. I'm like, bring f5, baby. Bring f5. Sure enough, f5 hits. I'm like, okay, take f4. And here he played a4. And I felt very rewarded because I really wanted to play the e4 structure. And besides, E4 here is horrendous because now the d6 pawn is like, oh, very, very yucky. So he played e4, and I'm like, Babeski, let me show you what I learned. So I played rook a3, just like Helston. He plays bishop b7. I promptly go on to blunder my d5 pawn, but because of I'm a lucky player, this is actually a completely brilliant blunder. Because bishop takes c3, rook c3, and then rook g3, as you will see in the game, is going to wreak havoc. But h3, of course, was suboptimal here, I think. Yeah, rook b3 looks like the best move here to completely send the black army to utter passivity. So yeah, h3 was definitely no bueno, but I was still so happy about, you know, getting this position. And when they took, I realized that the pawn was hanging, and I immediately realized that this was a blunder, because although the pawn is going to be lost, but so will be the black king. So I took with the rook, and of course by now they realized that taking on d5 would have absolutely dire consequences. King here and b3, and this is going to be very similar to what went down in the game. So in the game, my opponent played b5, trying to kick the knight out from this optimal square, but the problem is that that knight is going soon to another optimal square. Of course, b3 was played, bishop b2 is now a mate threat. Knight g6, bishop b2, king g8, and once again I didn't even need to relocate the knight, because bishop h5 is incoming with elementary power. King f7 was played. If bc, I didn't really calculate too much. I wanted to play take and then queen h5, but the engine tells me that there is a very simple and caveman checkmate here, so it's your pick. So instead he went king f7, and now I thought, okay, I play knight e3, and this was the point when I was really happy with myself, because positionally speaking, everything is on the best possible squares. This bishop is an absolute beast. The pin is annoying. The knight is hitting f5 currently unguarded. The rook on g3 is doing a great job. I was really happy. Bishop c8 was played. I really tried to make it an absolute all-time classic with some quadruple sacrifices on g6, but I just couldn't figure out a way to, yeah, make the sacks work. Quite shockingly, now that I'm looking at the engine wants queen a1. Which is like, what? I'm guessing some bishop g7 ideas. I played rook g5, which is the second best move according to the machine. f5 is not defensible. He decided to leg it, but yeah, it's basically out of the frying pan into the fire. The white pieces are flooding in, and here I saw the idea of rook g8, so I went for that, and then I took on f5. I think all these are confirmed moves by the engine, and the coup de grace was king c7, rook takes c8, and so that is, ladies and gents, how sometimes a chess lesson pays immediate dividends. And I think that immediate doesn't even quite cover really what went down here, because it was literally chess lesson over, grab a drink, come back, play a blitz game, and just go like exact same structure, exact same plans. It just felt like, you know, it's like someone tells you to play the right lotto numbers, you play the lotto numbers, and they are drawn. That kind of seeing the future went down there. So I really enjoyed that, and I suppose that this is the type of stuff that should encourage people who you know, analyze games from quality books. This is going to be another testament to Johan Helston's mastering opening strategy, or we could say it's a testament to my coaching. Hello, let it be the moment of no fake humbleness. Yeah, know that classics, eh? You learn the structure, and admittedly, of course, the opponent played really poorly. If you compare how tough a resistance the engine puts up from even after f4, but this is it. This is how we roll. I really enjoyed that moment. And yeah, I thought that this was a really good way to justify, you know, quality coaching, quality material, and even if it doesn't happen as suddenly as it did to me here, inevitably your lessons pay off. On that note, I didn't mean to put this, but I'm now going to turn this into a complete success story of lessons versus students or their achievements. The other day, my student played in a tournament where he had 2 games. He won both, right? So 2 weeks ago, my student played a game with black, which went like this. And I got really, really cranky by my standards anyway. I'm just checking the cut if it's correct now. Student black. Well, I didn't get cranky. That's not true at all. But I just, yeah, wanted him to do better. Because in this position, oh, actually already after e3, I don't remember now how it went, but he played, I think, bishop f5 here. And I told them knights before bishops. Or maybe he played knight f6. No, I don't remember now. Anyway, I told him knight c6. And his opponent played, I don't remember what we did here, but I think his opponent played bishop d3. And I told him, nobody, knight c6. And if bishop d3, you play e5. He didn't. He lost the game. Yesterday, I get the score sheet. And it turns out that the game followed same opponent, same game. 2 weeks later, we played e5. And we absolutely demolished the guy. I think they even took here and then played knight e2, and it was total carnage. Same student about a month ago played a game with the white pieces, Karo-Kanpanov. This is how it goes: c4, knight f6, knight c3, bishop f5. And in this position, I think we played c5. I'm not 100% certain. But I told him that bishop f5 is already a grave error because of queen b3. And both of these pawns are hanging and they are not defensible. And luckily he remembered, played queen b3, went on to win. So yeah, that was just, I suppose, a way to round it off, that analyzing your own games, you know, pointing out the mistakes, trying to remember what went wrong and how to improve should pay dividends, either the short or the long run. This case now we have seen 3 examples of the short run, but even if it's in the long run, it definitely does pay off, folks. So, you know, study your classics, know thy classics, and yeah, the results will come. So that will be it for me now. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to sub, to like, to super thank me. Thank you for those awesome humans who sent me some donations on YouTube in a shape of super thanks. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, stay tuned. I will be back with more soon. Bye.